We are live, or we should be. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Titan's Table. We have our usual guests, our usual co-hosts. Only one actually has his face tonight. We have Esfera, per usual.
Hi, people.
Oh my gosh. we
Demonetized.
have a Grim Monolith with his face finally again. His face has returned.
I have returned
for now.
And I have a better mic too. So
Yeah, he's come out of
Yes.
hiding.
Yeah. And
I was under a rock.
Yep.
So
Per usual. Yep.
Yeah.
Into Iraq.
And we have Undying MTG.
What is happening?
Not much. Wow, you're really like dressed today. You're all white.
I know. Well, in all honesty, I got off of work and I just literally went in my closet and threw this on. I was planning on wearing the hat anyways, but it just kind of, made me look like I'm cleaner than what I really am.
He went all white just so that the red face from drinking those Sam Adams would stand out more.
That's right.
Yep. There you
That's
go.
right. That's how you do it.
Yeah, tonight I think what we're going to be talking about is, of course, Commander and all of the spoilers in the set so far, because I want to know everyone's thoughts on that. Also, it's hard to... What?
The Eldraine leaks.
Yep, Throne of Eldraine leaks, which, those are kind of iffy.
Get it right, it's Throne of the Drain. It's where you go to flush all the really bad cards.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, I think the theme so far sounds cool, but that's all I'm giving it thus far.
I like Camelot and Grim Fairy Tales. I mean, they can do.
Yeah,
there's possibly something there.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
The topic I wanted to bring up briefly, I don't want to spend too much time on a negative thing, is just all the cheating that seems to be going on in the Pro Tour, and does it kind of make it so that the Pro Tour is completely irrelevant.
I kind of wonder if Wizards is intentionally paying their pro players to cheat to ruin the Pro Tour so that they can phase it out.
Do you think?
I mean,
so?
they've already like straight up shipwrecked the judge program.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's dead. It's dead. I'm not going to pay a yearly membership to retain my membership as a judge to try to get more promo cards. I mean, there's no need for it. It's a joke.
I mean, that's a great topic to kind of start on because you are a level 1 judge.
Yeah, how?
So your perspective on it is definitely kind of like an inside perspective of how you feel about it and what you want to do about it.
First off, having one centralized business owning the judge program, if it was going to be anybody at all, it should have been the people running the Grand Prix, the Channel Fireball, not Card Titan.
Fair enough.
No, sorry, not Card. It's not Card Titan, is it? It's Cascade Games. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, there should not you want to decentralize as much power as possible and not concentrate it because too much power at one place will corrupt it.
Yeah.
And having a game store, being a game store owner, I would love to own it, and B, do not want to own it.
Oh yeah. That would definitely be a type of that would definitely be a hard one,
Think about the kind of pressure I could put on the program with the judges within it by stating, I mean, just the potential for corruption of going, hey, cool, I don't like the competition in my region anymore. I'm going to make it very uncomfortable for the judges that work for me now as the owner of this thing to work at these other stores.
Right. Wow.
And there's a fee. I mean...
Oh yeah, that's also true.
That's a lot of money, It seems like it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't even look to see how much the fee was. I just heard there was a fee and instantly so put off that it left a bad taste in my mouth.
It's $100 for a level 1. I believe it's $100 for level 1 and $50 for an. So they want $50 for someone to be a registered RA, rules advisor.
Yeah.
I guess we used to call that level 0 judge or RA, rules advisor. They want $50 for you just to be an RA and $100 to be a level 1. And this is every year.
And then
it's not like a one-time membership thing. You have to pay this every year.
Yep, and then it's $200 for level 3.
So now I have to pay for the promos they were giving me as a thank you for volunteering my time as a judge.
A level 4 is $400.
I could think of a few rods that somebody would go out and get polished on a night on the town with that money.
Oh yeah.
I think somebody's Coke bucket at the top of the chain is running low.
I just,
Oh, no.
I mean, $100.
Oh, no.
All those level ones.
What?
You know,
You don't drink soda from a bucket?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, you could.
You could,
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, there's not a ton, I would say, there's not a lot of level 3 and 4s, but there's a lot of level 1 and 2s.
Definitely.
And that
I'm going to give you the
$100
average. When we hit the peak a few years back, we were sitting at about 5,000 judges. We haven't had a published number in a while, but my guess would be probably around 3,000.
Right. Yeah.
That's a sizable amount of money per year. There's no way in hell they need that much money. The only reason I can see them doing it is to force people out of the program.
Yeah, there's definitely
good
been
point.
some ideas that people have had in regards to that of why they'd start charging, especially those specific numbers, to be a judge.
Is it cost prohibitive? Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
cost prohibitive, right? So there's some judges that might not be able to afford it. So that means that
give
there's
them
less
a couple to
judges.
learn to play decks too.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're basically taking judges out of the program, like as Fair is saying.
Yeah.
I already know of better than a dozen judges in my area that are quitting the program over these changes.
Oh, yeah, there have been a ton of judges coming forward
and we're
saying that they
talking
were going
people
to...
that have been playing. We're talking about people that have been in the judge program for better than 5 years.
Right.
Not newer people. Like, it's all the new people that are like, oh my god, yeah, I should definitely have to pay somebody to become a judge. It's like,
Right.
can you name any job where you have to pay the job the honor of working for them? Well, it's not a job; it's a volunteer service. Okay,
Right,
in
right.
any volunteer
Well,
service,
They're
in
making
which
you pay to volunteer.
Yeah. Yep.
They're making you pay to volunteer.
That seems like a smart idea.
Sounds like a swift kick in the pants, but I mean, who am I?
I'll be right back.
Oh,
Some people
yeah.
like getting kicked in the pants, though. So I mean,
Do they, though, Undying? Do they?
sometimes they make you wonder if they do, because they do stupid stuff such as this, because you know that people are still going to do it.
Well,
There's
yeah.
going to be people that are going to pay it, but
Right.
Well, I see Frank is saying a union makes you pay, but a union also kind of saves your ass to a degree. I mean, if you understand how a union works, I mean,
Yeah.
this doesn't seem like they're really quote
This is the
unquote
opposite of a
covering
union.
your ass. There.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of a union. This
It's
is
like
just
kicking your ass.
Yeah.
honestly, this
That's
isn't
for
a
sure.
union. This is just favoritism towards the higher level player, the judges. Because I can guarantee you they'll find some waiver system in which they're the sole arbiter
Yeah.
of who gets to waive the fee to be a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
And think about the cost of events. Now, if these judges have to pay a yearly membership, now your LGS has to pass that price. Like that money is going to get passed on to the LGS. So let's say your average LGS has 5 judges in their community. That's another, like, what, $500 a year that the LGS is going to have to dish out towards these judges?
Right.
yeah. So the cost of events is going to increase
Right.
proportionally.
Probably, yeah.
Because it's the cost is going to be on the players.
Yeah.
The LGS is going to
Unless
push it
you
off
have
the
a
players.
generous person that just wants to pay it instead of having their LGS play just to do them a solid. But I mean, not
Yeah.
very many people are like that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So can this be? This is definitely seen as a swipe towards organized play, but
Oh, definitely.
can we also kind of interpret this as a hit towards LGSs, because this is another cost that's being forced upon another operating cost?
Honestly, nothing is being forced on the LGS. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be a judge and a store owner, and I
Right.
have other judges that are part of the community.
Right.
But I'm dropping my certification.
Are you?
Yep.
How long
I'm
did it...
dropping.
Did you come to that decision very quickly, or was that a decision that you really had to think about?
As soon as they announced the cost,
Yeah.
I decided that if there was a reason for it, right, that was justifiable in my opinion. Like, I don't care how much money in promos they want to throw at me per year.
Right.
Now I'm paying for the thing I'm supposed to have been given as a thank you for doing what I do for the community. I don't even do it for the promos. I do it for my local area. I don't need to be a judge for any of the events I run in my store. Now, if Wizards decides to really stick it to people and force judges into the store by saying every event needs to have a judge, then I'm dumping WPR next.
Yeah, so do you think that they would actually do that, though? That's a good question.
I think it's a nail in the coffin. I think that if they do that, they're literally going to kill organized play.
Yeah.
My opinion on
Yeah,
this
what's
whole
your
thing,
opinion on
yeah,
this?
I'll say that, like Rob said, yeah, it would be a nail in the coffin, but I'll say that I think, I mean, I definitely could be wrong here, but I think that after all this, has happened for quite some time and they see the negative that's came out of it, I'm sure, I would like to think anyways, they would like to learn from their mistake and then backpedal and be like, okay, we're going to not do this anymore. No more fee and yada, yada, yada. But, I don't know. We'll see. But I would like to think anyways that they'll see a huge dip in how many people continue to be judges due to this whole process.
Right, that's for sure. Tom said in chat, look, we don't need wizards to sanction events, just like we didn't need wizards to run GPs. We are already running parallel tournament scenes, and we can run a parallel sanctioning body.
That's true. You really don't. You can hold a tournament and
Right.
just be like, hey, we have a tournament that's going to have, X for the purse, to the top
Right.
X players, and you don't need a judge. It's just nice to have that label of saying, okay, we have X amount of at least level 1 judges on hand if need be. It's just a nice thing to have because, as Magic players, you're going to be looking at that person as a more credible source than just, Tom, Dick, and Harry that have absolutely zero credentials as to judging an event, but you don't need it.
The kind of people you're going to attract to a program where you have to pay to join it are going to be the kind of people that showed up here recently at my location. And I had this gentleman was like, well, I'm a level 1 rules advisor, and this is how it is because I learned this online last week. And I'm like, well,
no.
Combined in this room, I'm a level 1 judge, he's a level 1 judge, he's a level 1 judge, and you're wrong because actually this, and this. So if you would like to throw your levels around, we can do this. But in actuality, you shouldn't be trying to show somebody up on the rules. You should be explaining the rules to them in a manner in which they're comfortable. It's like, oh yeah, so actually this works. You're close, but it should actually work more along the lines of this, and this is why, and not the, oh my God, look at me, I'm better than you. And that's literally the kind of people that are being attracted to the program now.
Stupid pissing match.
Right, and people feel uncomfortable with that. It's not okay to do. That's for sure.
And those are the type of people, as to why I stopped going to my LGS years ago, is because I was that guy that would basically tell them to shut the hell up in a nice way. And basically say, like, I don't need you acting like an arrogant fool.
Right.
Because like what they didn't know is at the time, I was a level 1 judge. This was back during Theros block, but I was technically a level 1 judge, even though I'd never judged an event, but I got the certification just for my LGS in case they needed a level 1 judge on hand for, at the time there was a TCG event going on. But it's pretty much kind of like what Rob said. They kind of were like, oh, well, something happens along the lines like this, but I never told anybody that I had my certification. Then I was like, well, like he said, it's kind of like a you're right and wrong situation because of X, Y, Z. And then after I explained it, they just kind of looked at me like I was an idiot. But I'm like, no,
here's the most important thing about being a judge. It's real simple. It's your answer is wrong unless you got there for the right reasoning. You can have the right answer and the wrong process, and your answer is still wrong.
Right.
Because you have to think about how that same explanation you gave carries over to other things. And the reason why the correct explanation matters is the correct explanation can be applied to every situation, whereas the wrong explanation only applies in the one instance you brought up, and it's completely wrong to every other instances of those happening. So therefore, it causes a backwards flow of them. Why does this rule work this way and not for the rest of them?
Right. Yeah. Tom says.
I was just kind of thinking about the comment about another sanctioning body, and if we have, who though? If we kind of sit down and think about it, who do we want to sanction these judges if we have another body controlling it?
Right.
Are we running into the same problem, the same issues? It's who do we want to control the judges, and how do we want the judge program to be? I think that's a great question that we need to
honestly, it should have been Wizards of the Coast just saying, we're going to create a subsidiary. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to take all this information. We're going to hire X, Y, Z, and they're going to supersede it and go from there.
Right.
What did Tom say?
Tom had said, my brother's a level 3 judge, and I assure you those kind of people who have always been attracted to the program.
Well, I can say that, yes, those type of people are, but depending on who the person giving. So by turning it to a purely online system for getting your RA now and working your way through the system, you eliminate the personal interaction of weeding out people that are joining the program for the wrong reason.
Right.
And I don't want rules. I don't want rules robots. I want rules lawyers. I want people that understand why the rules are there, not people that the rules are the letter of the law.
Right. Exactly.
And that's kind of like why I even started to do it when I was doing it, is because there was a lot of people that were, at the time, there was a lot of people there that were bending the rules in their favor because they knew they could get away with it because there wasn't people there that had the knowledge to know better.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more or less, I wanted to be aware of everything, so that way if somebody tried pulling some crap, I could be like, no, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Because that's, like I said, that was just a lot of stuff that was being dealt with back then, because there was a lot of newer players, and then some of the older players were taking advantage just that way they could, win whatever was going on at F&M, rather be packs or promos or what have you. So it was like, they were trying to more or less cook the books for themselves, and I was trying to be the person that was kind of trying to break it up more or less. That way it's like, no, you're not going to cheat your way into getting said prize or what have you, just because you can take advantage of some newbie that has zero idea of what's going on, because that's not fair to them,
Right. Yeah.
But
Tom said, if you think the current system is doing enough gatekeeping to keep people from joining for the wrong reason. Wow. I mean...
No, because the system has been corrupted since about 2016.
I mean, yeah.
I've been watching the system decay since 2016, and it all started around the time of entitlement, where the people joining the program were all doing it purely because they wanted the judge promos, nothing else. There are people that purely keep their certifications up, doing as little work as possible, purely to go to the conferences and get their handouts, or the Grand Prix to get their handouts.
Of course. Who doesn't want free handouts to do minimum effort?
When I had my store up in New Hampshire, I knew a couple level 1s up there, a couple level 2s, of course, that were working in New Hampshire because we were running events that we needed level 2s, and I knew level 1 judges that were qualified enough to be level 2s, but they couldn't. And this was back like early 2017. They couldn't get anyone to certify them as level 2s because it was such a club that if someone didn't like you that was a level 2, or if you had any argument with anyone, or if your politics didn't align with everyone, you were not getting past level 1.
I had to get my friend certified in Connecticut from a judge from New York because no judge in the area would test them because the person is an LTC and they disagreed with them.
Of course. There's that bias. That's the problem.
And I had people working for my store, people that I played with on a team, and they were level 1s, and we were trying to get them to level 2, and I couldn't do it. We gave up because I even had the level 2 that kind of was the high, like the level 2 with the highest seniority in New Hampshire. I'm sure you know him as Farah. I'm not gonna throw names out here, but I'm sure you know him. He told me straight up. He goes, "No, that he is not getting. I'm not gonna get him to level 2."
Right, and that's a problem.
I'm not gonna do it.
There's that bias. That is a problem.
Just because you don't want somebody to do it, not that they don't have the credentials to, but just because you don't want them to, that's complete BS.
Right, because you don't like them for whatever reason. Yeah.
It caused me a lot of headaches because I had these guys that were level 1s that were qualified that could have been level 2s, and they were getting blackballed. They were getting blacklisted.
Yeah.
And I did everything as I could as a store owner, as a tournament organizer, and I ran a lot of big events up there, and these level 2 judges were still saying to me, "Nope, not going to do it." And you know what I was doing back to them? I was saying, "Oh well, you're not going to work for me." So, but you know what? They're so hot-headed. They'd be like, "Okay," and I would just have to go to Massachusetts and get judges because I didn't want to have anything to do with the club.
Well,
but I had to interact with them at least somewhat. But I did my best to work around it, and it was a problem. I'm glad I'm not involved in that anymore.
Oh yeah.
The judge program has been a hot mess since about around 2014, 2015, a certain element started joining that is very, very bubble oriented and cliquish, and they only started letting people like-minded into the program. And as soon as they do virtue testing on you left and right, and as soon as you fail the virtue test, you're out.
Yeah.
There's no progression past that point. You're completely just done.
Right. Yeah.
And I disagree with that. You should. They're not attracting people who want to be in the judge program to help others. They're attracting people that are purely interested in power.
Yep, and that's.
And this new system caters 100% to that, because somebody who wants power will pay for it.
Yeah.
So I have a question. As fair, you might have be the best answer to this. I mean, with this system, is it going to be even more of a club? Is it going to be even harder to get certification? Is it going to be even more of a kind of closed ecosystem, even more so than it was?
I think that if the testing is purely an online thing, first off, you think the cheating in the Pro Tour is bad. Imagine somebody taking your L2 judge test for you just to push you up the chain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Secondly, like if it's an in-person thing, then it's definitely going to remain the same. There's no doubt about it, because the people that are already there are just going to pay to maintain.
Right. It's true.
Yeah. It's crazy. I just can't. I know that they've been having trouble with it, but this was just not the right direction. I can't believe they went this way.
I said a long time ago that the program is getting more and more corrupted, and it started with the lawsuit. The lawsuit was actually a very bad thing for the program, but it was a justified thing to happen.
Right.
What district was that lawsuit in? Was that California?
It was California, and it was thrown out under the aspect that it didn't warrant a class action. And the judge's ruling was that basically each person has an individual merit case to bring the lawsuit back in, but they can't bring a class action because each one needs to cite their own individual grievance. In doing so, the lawsuit pretty much fell apart. Now, I heard that the people that were involved decided to refile and stuff, but it's very costly for a defense this big, and on a 1v1 scenario, you completely eliminate the threat of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see how bad it gets.
Yeah.
I don't know how much hope I have in organized play going forward. This, and on top of it, maybe we can segue into cheating on the Pro Tour, and is the Pro Tour even relevant anymore? And how much does Wizards really know of what's going on? And how much of it are they just letting happen?
Well, here's my thing. The one thing I've never understood about the judge program is, why do you need to know somebody who's a judge to go up? That's what I've never understood. Why not just you take your test and then you go?
What's up, Grim?
I'll answer that, Eric, in a minute.
And how on camera he blatantly cheated 3-4 times, and it wasn't until the Twitch chat.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Basically kept telling the commentators, hey, you need to go back and look at this. You need to go back and look at this. And it wasn't until after the event they finally went back and disqualified the guy. It just brings up the whole point. The amount of times that a lot of these pro players, I'm talking about paper, of course, end up in, say, top 8s or even top 16s. Is it statistically higher than, is it statistically higher than it should be? Because there's so much variance in the game. If you compare the variance to the statistical probability of someone ending up at a top 8, do they equal out? Or are these players ending up in these spots more often than they should, which would mean that there's something else going on, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors on that aspect. Think about this.
Cheating
is always going to exist in the sport.
The whole Pro Tour is irrelevant.
Right.
No, the Pro Tour is not irrelevant. The part about it that a lot of people don't realize is, in a game of logic, the person who makes the least amount of mistakes in a game is the winner. Just like in chess, the people that make the least amount of mistakes win the game. So it is very, very likely that the same group of people over time will continually make the top 8. Where you get into a problem is the cheaters stack their mistakes against them by using cheats in order to gain the advantage and erase the mistakes they made. Think about a cheat system as each cheat you make erases a mistake you've made during the game. Right. So an average pro player will make one mistake in 10 games, the average Magic player will make 10 mistakes in one game. Those compiled errors are going to work against you. If a semi-competent player only makes 2 mistakes in a game and cheats 3 times in a game, then he's +1 the pro player.
Right.
Getting back.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
I was just gonna say that, just to throw one other idea into the mix. There's something that I would like to see, like the statistics behind or the analytics behind, which is how well do these pro players that consistently end up in the top 8, how well do they do on Arena? Do they consistently end up in the top 8 in Arena? And if they do or don't, what does that say about the game?
I mean, you can't compare apples to oranges. You have a computer trying to synthesize randomness and a program that's designed to game the system in your favor of best possible draw, as opposed to a paper system where it's completely up to the luck of your shuffling capabilities. Mm-hmm. So I can't say that somebody who would be really, really, really good in paper Magic should be equally as good in computerized Magic. There's also the technology curve. I mean, you could say the technology is simple. I've been with technology since its birth and doing stuff, and I understand it like fluently, but there's something different about reading the expression on someone's face and knowing when you can go for the kill, and just having a raw, emotionless game where you sit down and you're only interacting with the computer. It's 2 different fails.
I hear you, and I understand. What I have heard, and I don't know the truth behind this, that's why I want to see actual analytics behind this, but there are people that have said that, with Arena coming, with Arena becoming so popular and all these streamers popping up and all these people that are playing a lot of Arena and getting really good at Arena and doing well on Arena, that didn't really ever play paper Magic, that when they go and they play paper Magic, that their skills transfer over better to paper Magic than paper Magic pros going over and playing Arena. I
would disagree with that, because the computer doesn't teach you priority.
Right.
The computer pauses for you and tells you what priority is. It doesn't teach you priority. Paper Magic.
See that down the line when these Arena players that were like Hearthstone players and stuff, if they try to translate and go to paper Magic, they're gonna get destroyed because they're not gonna be thinking about all these.
I don't have to tell you that you have priority to do something.
Exactly.
I'm gonna cast something, and if you say okay, I'm gonna take that as a sign it resolves and go to my next thing. And like the stack is the most complicated thing in Magic, and it's easier to learn in paper than it is to learn on Magic Arena. Now, Magic Arena does a better job of displaying the stack. So for somebody who wants to see how the stack interaction goes, then that's a really good place. Like Magic Online, things like that are good for showing you the stack.
Yeah.
But because it prompts you for everything.
Visibility on paper is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Right.
Prompting you every inch of the way is literally the computer coaxing you and going, would you like to respond? Would you like to respond? What happens to no outside interference in Magic? Oh, wait, that's out the window when you go to computer Magic. Every game has outside interference, the program.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're playing on the program, so it's not outside interference. It's semantics. You're being prompted to say, do you want to do something to this?
Right.
As opposed to Magic, where you have to get good at understanding when you can and can't do something, and that makes you a better reaction player. I think that pro players will convert over to computer a little bit better, but they lose a part of the game in that it's easier for me to read your face and realize if I'm a really good people reader.
Right.
That, hey, look, XYZ just happened.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's true.
So, I was just going off of kind of like what people are saying in kind of the Twitterverse, the YouTubeverse, and whatnot. And I hear you, and I don't know if I believe what they're saying either. Their belief is that the pro players from paper are not translating well to Arena, but the Arena players are translating well to paper. And that's why I said I want to see the analytics. I mean, that's just it's hearsay.
Yeah.
You can't get analytics on that type of data.
Right, you can't.
I've had people come in my store and start playing Paper Magic and go, "Oh my god, this is so much harder and different than playing on Arena." On Arena, it prompts me when to do stuff, and it just makes it's XYZ, and I'm like, "Yep." And it's because you have a computer there, literally prompting you, telling you what to do.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I said to some people that I talked to about it was, well, do we have any data on how well Paper players have done an MTGO, right? Because with MTGO, you have a computer also forcing priority to be correct on you and not making mistakes and whatnot. So, is there any data on that? And there really isn't. Like you said, there's no data on how well, Paper players translated over to MTGO.
I have friends that have been playing Magic as long as me since '93.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name them, but like some very well recognized, really like top tier Magic player friends.
Yeah.
And one of them is absolutely brilliant, and he says that playing on Moto is a completely different beast because it prompts you for everything. It teaches you what the stack is, but it doesn't teach you, like, it does a better representation of the stack, but it's everything I've said. It's garbage. There's not the same thing of sitting there and watching a bead of sweat roll down someone's eye in a high situation game where you realize you've got them because they don't have an answer. It's like poker. You can play the pro player. I mean, you want to compare statistics. Compare statistics of online poker players versus people that play in face-to-face. The people that do really good in online poker get absolutely decimated from paper players because the tells are all there.
Right.
It's reading someone's tells.
Right. Yeah. It's a very good point.
So I guess I'm going to kind of go back to my original question was, I don't know. I'm trying to take something from the conversation we're having, which is cheating as prevalent as there are some people out there in the content creation community would make us believe?
Honestly, yes.
Is it okay?
And to make it even simpler, it's because the penalty isn't harsh enough. I think I've covered this many a times before. I said your first offense should be a 1 year, your second offense should be a 4 year, and the third offense should be a lifetime. I'd even argue that could be changed grievous. Like, some people are like, well, they cheated, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you have a cold, hard case of somebody hard cheated, ban them for 4 years, and they come back to the game.
Exactly.
But what do they do in Vegas when you get caught cheating? You're banned for life, and they pass it to every other casino, and you can't play there.
Right.
So why shouldn't we have
something one chance, right? One chance and you're done. Okay.
Yeah, it's literally one and done. There is no getting back in. Like, they even share their information as far as crossing state lines to like Atlantic City and stuff like that.
Right.
So like, once you've been known to be a cheater, you're out for life. I think you should get the lifetime ban right from the beginning, but you should have an appeals process, and that if you can prove that you weren't cheating through reasonable deduction, then it should be erased from your record. But honestly, I really do think it should just be a one and done. You got caught cheating, you're banned for life.
I've said that from jump, but everyone kept telling me it was too harsh, and I'm like, why? If you think you are that good as a player, you shouldn't have to cheat.
Right.
Sorry, but that's how I've always viewed it, and I'll still say it to this day. You cheat, you're done. It's a pro tour. Hey. You're supposed to be, quote unquote, the best of the best. Right. Well, then you shouldn't have to cheat to win. And if you do, I mean, then you're not a good player. You're just good at cheating. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what about this idea? This might be just completely dumb, but
it is. It's just you're saying it. I love you, Graham.
Because you're gonna say it's dumb, but it's okay. It's all right. I can accept that. What if you cheat at the pro level and you do it once and you're one and done? They just say, well, you can never be a pro, but at like regular rel, you can play again in a store in a year, but you can't play pro Magic for 5 years or something like that. Give people different levels of bans.
Nah, I mean, you need to have just a blanket thing across the board. If you get caught cheating at the pro level, there's nothing to stop you from cheating at regular level. In fact, if you haven't paid attention and heard the stories, the pro players that get caught cheating cheat hard. Like, there was a pro player that recently cheated at a freaking Friday Night Magic that was a free entry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember reading about
people
that.
will still cheat. It doesn't matter to them. It does not matter to them. That's the thing.
Yeah, the legacy
event. You're going to cheat. Once you've proven that somebody is cheating, I'm not saying like somebody made a mistake that's so grievous that they deserve to be disqualified.
No,
I'm
it's
saying,
like a blatant.
Once you pull the red card and it is a cheat. It's just this is cheating. There's no way this could not be cheating.
Right.
You're banned for life.
Yeah.
Then you can file your appeal and make your case to a higher up who would then review it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But realistically, to be called a cheater is one of the hardest things for a judge to say.
Right.
Which is I joke with my buddy and say it, and I really shouldn't because he's a really good friend of mine. I just love to bust his chops. And like I joke with him because it's hilarious just to see his reaction because I know he's not. But I really shouldn't even be doing that. On a professional level, there's a reason why only the head judge can pull the cheat card.
Yeah.
Pay grade, brother, the pay grade. It's way above my pay grade to get you out of an event and ruin your entire day and wipe out the statistics and everything else for you. But that being said, with the head judge making that final ruling, he had to have found enough. I think that they have, like when you get a level 4 at the pro, handing out rulings and they pull the trigger and say it was cheating.
Yeah.
Well then, I'm sorry. I'm gonna side with that judge as much as I disagree with a lot of the politics within the judge program.
Right.
Somebody that high a level has far more to lose than somebody lower down the chain.
Francis says you can't cheat in arena.
You want to bet money on that?
Well, arena can cheat back.
Yeah.
Apparently,
right.
apparently, you could get down to 4 nexuses in your deck and get banned. So I mean, that's got to be cheating.
Yeah, it was only that ban that was given was what was it, a 1-day ban or a week ban?
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Guy was playing within the rules of the game. If the other player didn't like it, they could have conceded, or they could have just kept playing until somebody fell asleep.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Very true.
Eventually, the troll is going to get bored and stop doing it.
Yep.
So, real quick, before the question, I had to get swept under the rug.
Go for it. I wanted to hear this one again.
Okay, so what Rob was going to answer, but I'll say it again for those that might have just joined the chat. I was more or less asking kind of a question comment. I never understood the whole process of the judge program in regards to after you become a level 1, which you have to go through your LGS to do all that stuff. But once you hit level 1, you have to basically know a level 2 judge and then take a test to become a level 2 judge and so on and so forth. So my question was why it's like that and why it couldn't just be that you take a test to continue on your progress to further yourself as a judge. And then if anything else, they like make you have to do some sort of like a background check or something like that to make sure that, you know, all the negative stuff that had been coming out over the past couple of years with the whole judge program, that stuff doesn't come up or potentially won't come up.
All right. So a couple of things. There's a little misinformation in there, but it's mostly correct. To become a level 1 judge, you have to test under a level 2 tester.
Right.
Or there are, as far as I know, I haven't checked in a while. There are no level 1 testers, but the level 2 testers are allowed to A, test level 1s and B, test other level 2s to make them level 2s. Right.
Okay.
Then you have to become a level 2. Technically, you have to go in front of a level 3 and then take a bunch of other tests. Each one of these tests have to be administered by paper. So the level 1 test is a paper test. The level 2 test is a paper test. The level 3 test is a paper test, a rules committee, and a bunch of other stuff. Trust me, level 3, just not worth it to any sane human being.
Oh, yeah,
it's literally like going for an interview at the Pentagon.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But that being said, if they computerize the whole thing, I think having another judge present who would vouch for you and put their number in to make sure you're not cheating on the test would be okay for the most part. That they are technically supposed to be timed tests, but
well, here's my biggest gripe on it.
Yes,
is just that like in my situation, I could get to level 1 and then that is it because there's no level 2 judges within like a 50-mile radius of me.
And
so how the hell am I supposed to do
they've
that?
understood this problem. The thing is unless your store specifically needs a level 2 judge, there's no reason to advance past that point in the program. There are very few events your store would run that would require a level 2 judge. So theoretically, you could be working on all of the metrics needed to become an L2.
Yeah.
then have your LGS host an event that requires one, pull one in, pay him for the day, and pay him for his time. Well, not pay him to test you, but say, hey, look, also, I'd be very interested in doing X, Y, Z in testing.
Right.
I think the biggest concern with all of that is if your store doesn't need a judge, why bother getting one in the first place anymore?
Exactly.
And if you have spent your time to get to that point, put it this way, most people that make it to level 1 are never going to advance past level 1 because you also need a valid reason to become a level 2, and one of those valid reasons is that you work with 2 or more stores.
Right.
Well, all right, so back with the PPTQ system, which of course doesn't exist anymore. The PPTQ system required a level 2 judge. So to run a PPTQ, you had to have a level 2.
Yeah.
And up, around where I was,
this is interesting.
We had 3 level 2s, and how many stores were there? Like a store, like 50 stores in a 60-mile radius, and we were fighting over the level 2s all the time. Like, we were caught. That's why I was saying earlier, I was trying to get level 1s that worked for me up to level 2, but the level 2s that were around there didn't want to test them for various different reasons, as I was saying, because of the whole club mentality and other things, of course, and maybe they didn't want the competition. I don't know. There was probably a lot there, but we were fighting over level 2s for the PPTQ system. Another one of the reasons why I hated that system.
Well,
now,
did you know that this is important to note? Did you notice that it was only suggested that you use a level 2 or it may be invalidated? Wizards actually let exemptions on many stores pass.
Actually. That's
because it was proven that there were no L2s in your region, and the cost to bring a judge into your region would have been too much. So they were letting certain stores slide while forcing other stores to get in with the big boys club or get out.
Right. So it happened up next to me, and a lot of stores complained about it. There was a store, I'll just say the town, there was a store in Nashua.
Yep.
Okay. And it ran a PPTQ using a level 1 who did become a level 2, and he was a good judge. I mean, he was a good judge, but he was a level 1 when he ran that event because their level 2 couldn't make it. They had contacted a level 2, and that level 2, who, by the way, no, I'm sorry. It was the level 3 that was coming to do them a favor to do the event. We can talk about the names after.
No, man, but I already know who they are. I know the entire situation.
Yeah. And by the way, that level 1 that ran that event, who then became a level 2, ended up doing a lot of stuff for me. Like I said, he was a pretty good judge.
Yeah.
And he would also do a lot of stuff in Mass in Danvers. We won't name a store there, but hey, if you're getting paid.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway.
No amount of money that would have let me work for that store.
Anyway.
But I'm just saying that a lot of stores got pissed off because Wizards said, oh yeah, it was fine that a level 1 ran that event. They didn't have a choice, and they did it Wizards did it as a favor to the level 3 that didn't show up.
Right.
But no other store could use a level 1. If anyone else tried to use a level 1, Wizards would invalidate the event. That's what they would say.
It's ridiculous.
Undying has to go pee-pee.
Yeah, he has legs confirmed.
That's too funny. Okay. I think the judge program is pretty much a dead horse at this point. There are a lot of flaws, and without open discussion on how to deal with them, they're not going to progress. Consolidating power was a giant mistake. Making judges pay to remain judges yearly was a giant mistake.
I
kind of agree with them making, like, they were going to start implementing a system where you had to take the L1 test every year in order to maintain your L1. And I don't know whatever happened with that. I think they're probably still going to do it. But rumor has it that the money is for the fee for testing. But if they turn all the testing digital, what's to stop somebody from just cheating and becoming a fake judge?
Right.
That's a good point.
The entire program is just so twisted and beat right now that I honestly don't know how to repair it. I mean, they allowed one entity to take over and make an LLC and own it. So now the judge program is owned by a company outside of Wizards, which releases them for future liability.
Right.
I mean, that's why they did it, right?
Yeah.
That's how they did it.
I think they did it wrong. I think that Wizards of the Coast should have bought the judge program, hired an actual staff of level 3s and level 4s to be actual physical judges, took on some 1099 L2s that would work regionally for their Grand Prix circuit and would be responsible for testing on the regional level for the local stores to get more people into those stores, and basically made it so that they could only be paid through the big events, right? Eliminating like the pay level at the LGS, because let's face it, unless the LGS is running an event of XYZ or higher, there's no need for them to put out the added expense. I mean, it's already hard enough for us to keep our businesses and our gates and our doors open. We don't need to be paying somebody to come in here and sit down and wave their finger and wag it in someone's face.
Yeah, no.
That's a good point.
Oh, and the price of Commander product went up.
Yeah, did it? That's a good segue right there, right? Commander 2019, the set that I thought was just going to be mediocre, is not bad. I don't know. I've been looking at it's not bad.
I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's as good as 2 years ago. I
actually think this set is better than most people are giving it credit for.
A lot of good cards. A lot.
Wow. All right, guys, you are attacking me with your toxic masculinity, okay? You're all kicked off. I'm banning you all. You're all banned for not agreeing with the woman here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Guys, unsubscribe from Undying. He's out. He's not cool anymore.
Oh, it's really good. Like, I thought last year's was solid, but this one actually gave me
I didn't think last year's was solid. I thought the year before was great.
Last year's was stupidly solid. People saw it, and look at it now. Look at the value.
Yeah, look at it now.
Money, right?
I liked it. I couldn't find myself to pull the trigger on buying.
I'm pretty sure we had a conversation about it last year, and if you go back and look, I was the person saying, "This set's really good. This set's really good. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. Blah blah blah." Yeah. This set. I'm actually, as we've been going, I've been actually scrolling through and looking, and I was like, "Oh, cool, interesting. Piece of candy. Yeah, I actually think that this year's, with the exception of maybe the mana base needs a little bit more work. I think they could have put a few more rare lands in it.
Yeah. So what did cost go to? So if prices went up, what did it go to?
Mr. Williamson is saying between 160, 170 is where it's at for all four currently right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing online. Yeah, it's like 160 to 170. It seems like kind of around the number that all the larger websites are posting it for.
There's three cards, me personally. I'm not saying that these are the best, but these are just three cards in my mind after looking at stuff and then talking to them amongst other people that have really caught my eye, which one everybody knows is Crick. That one's like top of the food chain for me. For any black player that's going into anything. So you got that. Volrath, there's infinite combos with that me, JJ, Wang, and King of Jank were talking about last week, and Jank actually came up with the infinite combos for mana ramp and neg 1 counters. And then the freaking egg thing.
What's that card called?
I can't remember what the heck we were talking about because I'm blanking on now, but we were talking about some janky combo with the eggs. And I'll have to talk to him again because I'm like drawing a blank because
I think the eggs are sweet.
Stuff, but there's something about doing stuff with the eggs and then removing them in some sort of way to basically just like pretty much just sift through your deck and then just like pound out a bunch of creatures like for nothing more or less.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that cost went up about almost 7%.
Interesting.
Yeah, they went the cost of the product just on a per unit price went up to almost $23 a unit. Based on that math, MSRP on these should be in the neighborhood, if MSRP still existed, on Wizards math numbers, the MSRP should be in the $45 range.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely high. I mean, that's a huge jump from the original price, which was $29, and then we had $35.
Well, over the past couple of days, I remember it was last Magic stream. Drew had actually came into chat and was discussing how his local game store is still selling them for $30. They're still he said all of the stores in his area are still selling them for $29.99.
Well, I mean, they're not making much money off that.
Right. Well, right.
After the cost to ship them in and paying the taxes on the cost of the product, like the profit margins and stuff like that, they're walking away with like $1 or $2 each. Right. At that point, it's not even worth bringing them in. I mean, I've done pre-orders on them at 40 and was going to put them out at $44.99. And I don't care what kind of value are in them. I already see that like 2 of the decks are just going to insta sell out.
Right.
And I might have to raise the price on those and subsidize the price of the rest. Like subsidize the price of those on the cost of the other, like offset them and stuff.
Right.
I really don't like no MSRP marketing because it leaves it open-ended. I don't know if this cost increase was a bump from Wizards or just my distributor saying I'm bumping it. But it looks like all the distributors are working together because they're all quoting roughly the exact same price.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that just, like, I know they're not shopping each other and saying, hey, what do you do? I'm pretty sure it's a big boys club, and they're all working together to keep prices up so that they make the most amount of money out of the community.
I mean, of course. Yeah.
The only people winning these days lately has been the distributors.
Yeah.
With Wizards removing how much the distributor has to order, so the distributors are pretty much only bringing in the base product plus 10%, and that 10% is their profit margin. If they get stuck with it, they've made no profit, but they break even on cost of labor and everything else needed and shipping and the whole 9 yards. So they're basically getting 10% for free. As a business person, I'm perfectly okay with this. A break-even scenario where you have 10% left over after paying all of your bills, and that's your long-term capital investment to slowly tick up. That's an ideal situation. At the end of the night, all your employees are paid, your customers are happy, and you have a little bit left over for a rainy day fund. But to take off MSRP and then Wizards to drop bombs like, oh, and by the way, we expect the cost of this item should be in the neighborhood of this, but remember, there's no MSRPs.
Right, there's no MSRPs, so
that's them saying,
womp.
That's them putting the number out for the customer, who then goes into a store with a reasonable expectation from a company, and then when they see a higher price, they say F you and go somewhere else.
Right.
It's making the LGS look like the bad guy.
Yes.
Right, they're literally making us look like the bad guy. Meanwhile, they keep raising the back end pricing.
It's all you. Don't you lie, Rob. We know.
Oh, yeah, we know it's you.
I'm wearing shirts with holes in them because I'm so filthy rich. I can't afford to buy better, but I choose not to.
You just want to seem like you need help and like you're poor.
You want to see my ceilings? So the biggest complaint I've had in the last 2 weeks, and we've missed the opportunity to talk about this. We're pushing forward. By missing a couple of Titans tables, we've missed a very important thing. The complete cluster duck known as the new Mythic Edition that's coming out. The Throne of the Throne limited edition booster boxes.
Yep.
The
12-pack $300 booster boxes?
Yeah. And the cost on them is crazy.
So, it's 12 packs, and the MSRP is supposed to be somewhere around $300.
And
No. Wizards said it's 12 packs, right? And that they're suggesting that the boosters sell between 20 and 25 per pack. Customers heard 20 and think it's a $240
Man, I had better be pulling some diamonds out of each pack. You're paying that damn much.
No. It gets better than that. It gets better than that.
What the hell?
Guys, we're definitely going to have to up the donations so that Undying and I can get some boxes to open, because we're definitely not opening our wallets without some donations, guys.
Broke bro.
For sure.
Help me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now put it this way. So not only are you getting your 12 packs for like $300 in the stores, but the cost to the stores is nearly $14 a pack. So Wizards of the Coast putting that sly comment out there of, well, it's only supposed to be 20 to 25 MSRP.
Right.
Well, if we were going to sell these, no. I think their exact wording was they were going to sell them for like $20 a pack on Magic Online or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then they suggest that the stores are probably going to sell it for like 20 to 25.
Right.
And then they turn around and say, and by the way, it's 67% cost based on those numbers. Was the biggest FU I've ever seen in my life. The point of, I'm not even mad, I'm hysterically frustrated.
How many are you gonna buy? You gonna buy your max allotment? You gonna love it?
I've ordered exactly goose egg. 0.
This egg.
Oh man, you haven't pre-ordered, you haven't got your pre-cons in yet?
For what?
For the 2019 pre-cons, you haven't ordered any? Is that what you were saying? You didn't
No,
order
I'm
any?
talking about. Oh, I ordered 20.
No, he's saying for the collector's booster.
Oh, you're talking about the mythic stuff. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about that new mythic. I ordered 0 boxes.
Okay, I'm still.
I've had customers telling me, "Well, I'm interested." I'm like, "Okay, commit money in hand."
Right,
no, I'm gonna wait until
exactly.
it comes
That's the
out. Well,
problem.
then you're not gonna get it here.
Right. People say that they want to purchase something, but then when it comes to okay, we can get you the product, they don't want to.
Nah, I'm done playing these stupid lotto games.
Right.
I don't care if this set tomorrow is a $10 million set and I missed out on my opportunity to retire young. I'll sweat my balls off the rest of my life, work hard, and just make sure people get good stuff. Because I'm telling you, a $300 12-pack booster pack is the biggest kick in the balls to the consumer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's a kick in the ball. Kick in the balls to the LGS because again, I'm gonna say it again. It makes the LGS look like the bad guy.
The only people that are gonna be able to afford product like this are the Rudies of the world, who are gonna gobble it up because they're happy with 5%.
Right.
They're happy with anything above 5% in a year, and anything over 18% is God to them.
Right.
I don't have $1 million in credit
to
turn around and flip on a loan to myself at 0 APY for a year and turn around and make my money back and make a free 3 to 5% on my money by doing a little extra legwork. I have to actually physically pay for everything.
Right. That's true.
Crovax is saying that the only people that are going to be buying these things are the unboxing YouTubers.
Yeah.
No.
I think that there are people that are interested in them. I
can't get into that.
I know.
I used to, like, early on when I was doing videos just as filler stuff, but I stopped doing it because I know, like, I'm not enthusiastic at all about recording myself opening up stuff. I'm not. And I know I'm not trying to plug my channel here, but I am doing something on the channel where I'm opening up packages that I'm buying offline because I do spec certain stuff because for those that don't know, I'm a frugal ass person when it comes to Magic cards, and
it's okay.
I don't always have the time to talk about certain specs I have. So this is a way for people that do sub to the channel to see what the hell I'm buying. And sometimes, I'm just buying stuff because I just want to buy it, not because I'm speccing it, but sometimes I just like dumb cards because I like dumb cards.
Yeah, why not? It's what you find enjoyable in the game.
Right. But I mean, as far as like, hey, I'm going to buy like a booster box to open it, like, that sounds painful to me. Like, I would rather edit a 6 to 8 hour deck tech than open up a damn booster box and try to sound like I'm freaking, like super jacked up on every pack that I open, even though not every pack is going to be awesome. Like, I can't do it.
Right.
I just can't.
Well, maybe with this upcoming set, you can be. Oh, dude. So they're doing these super insert parallels that are going to be like 1 per box. They're doing like
Yu-Gi-Oh!
4 random. It's like literally Yu-Gi-Oh! The Gathering. Yep. Imagine opening a Jace's spellbook 12 times, except each one has different cards with full art and foils.
That's crazy. Yeah. Darrow was saying he can't believe that unboxing or cracking pack videos are still a thing, and are they still a thing? Because Dark Titan was putting those up. Barry, you were doing those videos for a while. Remember?
Yeah,
how were the views on them? Because you stopped doing them. So I'm assuming it's because the views disappeared.
Well, so for me is that I was buying booster boxes for myself to open. So I figured that I would open them on camera and other people could enjoy it too. But the thing is that unless you are opening something that has that's so sought after that people go, wow, that's crazy that you're opening that, it doesn't get views. People are not interested. Like new products, I could open like Battle for Zendikar and everyone would be like, oh yeah, that's great.
You'd honestly be better off opening a Commander product and going, oh, I got this.
Here's what it is. It's just what it is it's the evolution of things, as we know, because I'll be honest, I've been in and out of YouTube since about 2011.
Right.
And I used to be able to, now this is just the whole evolution of YouTube in general, but I was actually getting subs off of like what I would consider complete dumpster fires of videos because my setup was so janky because I had $0 to my budget. So I literally filmed myself holding up cards and talking about them, and was getting more subs doing that than doing what I'm doing now, which is actually trying to put time into editing certain videos and stuff. And it's because people want more, and they want more.
It's honestly because
they want more.
It's because the sub algorithm, the suggestion algorithm.
Well, I mean, that's part of it as well. But
right.
I'm just saying, like, just in general, as you know, everything evolves, people will see like, oh, well, even though in your mind you're putting a lot of time and effort into something, somebody else might be like, oh, well, so-and-so's videos look way better, so your stuff sucks or whatever. And that's the same thing with opening videos is what I'm getting at. People used to, when openings were a thing, they didn't care what you were opening up. And now it's gotten to the point that everybody's doing it. So now
only people want to watch a beta
it unless you're like, oh, you're opening up a God box or you crack some crazy foil or what have you. Like, that's all they'll watch. So, I mean, it's just one of those things, in my opinion, anyways.
People watch stuff based on the thumbnail now, and if you're not showing something of stupid value in your thumbnail, or an alternate art limited edition print all nude version of Liliana, nobody's gonna watch it.
Everybody wants to do. I figured it out now. So super nude Liliana is going in the next thumbnail.
How about an all nude Chandra edition?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's all right.
But seriously, unless you're opening beta packs, opening boosters and stuff, it's reactionary. You're almost better off doing a reactionary video of being blind going into a set and cracking it and discussing it as if you had no clue about what the set was. The problem is even if you're completely wrong and people are making fun of you for it, you've already missed the content because it was a month ago. Like the release schedule was so
What do you think these mythic boxes will, be kind of that beta pack? Do you think?
Oh, I mean, I know they're gonna be value long term. I'm not arguing the fact that they're gonna be value long term.
Right.
But I have to evaluate how as a store owner, I have to evaluate how I spend my money and what I'm gonna bring into my customers. And my average customer isn't gonna walk in here and drop $30 to $40 on a booster pack. They'll pay $20 on a Masters Edition, like a year after it's been out, just for the novelty of cracking it to see if they can hit that alternate, that really cool foil, whatever.
Right.
But for the most part, like, nobody wants the mythic editions. I have everybody telling me the exact same thing. Well, at $20 a pack, I might buy one. And I'm like, no, at $20 a pack, you're gonna buy them all. But at $20 a pack, I have to evaluate making $6 a booster pack over 12 packs, as opposed to making, I don't know, $1.50 a booster over 36, but being able to bring in twice as much and do it twice as fast. I have to evaluate those numbers. And it's like, people are like, well, then it's just because you're small time. And it's like, no, because I'm an LGS that gives a rat's ass about my customers, and I'm not trying to shove garbage down your throat all day. I want you to have a nice place to sit down and play Magic, and I want to be able to get you your singles when you need them.
Right.
And what are the people who are saying that think LGSs are in general? What do they think, that they're these large companies or conglomerates or something? I mean, they're all small stores.
We've covered this before.
You're lying.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that every LGS is everybody thinks that every LGS is rolling in money. The truth of the matter is, if an LGS makes enough to pay the store owner a salary for the year, people are complaining. It's like, I barely make a salary each year that's reasonable.
You make money?
How dare I make more than the average McDonald's employee at $15 an hour getting replaced by a kiosk? I mean,
how dare you?
All sarcasm aside, the industry isn't what it is, and being in an oversaturated market like I am, I'm not surprised that I'm still open, because as far as I'm concerned, I do things right and I treat my customers with respect.
Right.
I may have a pissy day when I'm playing a game of Magic and I'm salty, and somebody go, "You're salty," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And then I realized later, I was like, "Yep, I was salty. I probably shouldn't have been playing that game."
Right.
I mean, it happens. I mean, everybody gets salty every now and again. It's no big deal.
But at the end of the day, all I want is some place where a kid can sit down and play Magic and not learn what a freaking a Z-Pack is, or learning what a shot of H is to the arm or anything like that. If I can keep a kid off the street and from dying from drugs, then you know what? I'll break even every single day of my life.
Right.
So in the end, these specialty products, like these mythic editions and stuff like that, these products that Wizard says, well, this box isn't for everyone. And by the way, I hate that. When I read that, I just, it's like, I hate to use the word cringe.
Basically a disposable income. Like, And that's ridiculous, and that's not fair to anybody else, because yet again, it's just like a lot of things in life. It's like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because freaking the people that got the money are gonna freaking buy up all these boxes ASAP and then jack the price up on everything and be like, oh, well, you got to pay a boatload of money for these cool singles, and then some Joe Blow is gonna pay that money for it.
They're going after the 10% that are addicted, that are going to blow their entire wad because they live at home in mommy's basement and don't have a care in the world. But getting back to Frank's question is, how many did I know I could get for my Francis? Sorry, I'm kind of blinded at distance. How many boxes was I allowed to get based on my ticket count and everything else in my store? There was pretty much an open-ended call for request, but I've heard that I can get up to 72 displays. Now, a display is a 2-box mini booster that has 2 of them in it. So it's basically 48 booster boxes in a display. No, sorry, no, my bad. A display is a mini carton that has 2 12-pack sub boxes in it, and I can get 72 of those.
Right. It's a lot.
I was like,
yeah, that's a lot of money. That sounds like a death sentence for an LGS.
Yeah.
To even come close to that allocation sounds like an absolute death sentence.
Definitely.
So, 72 times 2 is 144 displays. Times 12 is 1,728 packs times approximately 14 cost each. Yeah, $25,000 in merchandise. They're literally just looking at us as $25,000 price tags every oh, my Coke bucket's running dry, gotta get myself another fix. Print out another 25 grand per store.
Right.
Yikes. In the end, do these products hurt, help, or just doesn't go either way for the game?
I think that ultimately, if they're not inserted into regular edition booster packs, they ultimately hurt the game. Because if you've been around as long as I have and collected baseball cards, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as the 90s happened and they started mass producing and putting this insert, that insert, a million different types of inserts, this specialty product, this store-only product, hobby store exclusive alternative box case topper booster box, 1 per 20 booster boxes ordered. They killed the game. They literally killed baseball cards. And I see Magic, as long as they keep trying to reinvent the wheel, it's literally what I said was going to start happening in '99 when Hasbro bought the game.
Right.
They're extracting as much money out of the player base as they can. As the player base dwindles, they charge more and more for the ones that are left. Eventually, they'll hit a point where it stops selling. They'll take a 5-year evaluation, and they're going to shop the company and sell it.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I know that's something you've been saying.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking by it. I really think that Wizards is shooting for a 2020 sell-off of the company.
Francis says it would hurt the game too much, too fast, too many cards. Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that these, just throw my opinion out there, I think that these products hurt the game. A product that they claim is only for some people, I think everything should be, I guess people can argue this, but I think everything should be printed for everyone. I don't think that they should
no Magic card should be over $20. Everybody should be able to play Magic, except for you, because this product isn't for you.
Right.
This product isn't for you. Look,
how can you say you don't think any card should be worth more than $20?
About singles prices, singles prices, my opinion, by the way, is I have no problem with older cards, out of print cards being worth a ton of money. Yeah. I think it's cool. It's
until you can't get your hands on them, Grim.
By the way,
newer cards.
I saw an Ultimate Edition alternate foil Ugin up in person in the store the other day, and I looked at it and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And the person was like, "What?" I was like, "They took it from the vaults and just did full art on it. It's the ugliest foiling process in the world." They're like, "No, I love it." I'm like, "No, it's the from the vault." That's why they discontinued from the vaults. They just didn't want to reinvent a new foil process.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I have a bunch. I have a few of the Jaces. I have a few regular Jaces and a few of the Jaces from that are from the vault. And the foil on them is so bad. It's so bad. They're still worth $120 though, but the foiling on them is
Yeah.
is so bad. So bad. Yeah, I just was saying that look, these products, which aren't for everyone, are they're bad for the game. They're bad for the game. Hey, is the artwork the special artwork available in Arena or no? I don't know if there or Eric, if you know that's the case.
What's that? I'm sorry.
The the special artworks from the Mythic editions. I didn't know if they were going to be available in Arena or if they have been available in Arena in the past.
No, I'll be honest, I haven't checked. I've been working so much overtime lately. I haven't even like updated my Arena in like probably a month. Like I haven't even had time for it.
Fair enough. They're not currently in right now. They've said that they want to, but then again, they say they want to do a lot with Arena, and they never get to it. So who really knows what's going to happen on that?
I'm gonna quote my friend Tim, and he said, and I quote, "Can I play it in the line at the registry while I'm waiting 4 hours to get my license renewed?" And the answer was no. And he's like, "I'll keep playing Hearthstone."
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, they're not gonna cross any thresholds with that game of player base until they make it capable of being played on a tablet or
there are ways that I've seen that I haven't tested it out, but I have seen ways you can play like Arena on like your smartphone or a tablet, and it's using there's some sort of there is an app or something. I can't remember what the heck it was.
Yeah, but the average person, it's probably like a BlueStack style program.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is the average person of uses a computer on a semi basis going to be able to do it easily? The answer isn't I could just push a trusted site and install it. 90% of the people out there are not going to install it on their phone.
Right. It was I want to say it was off of Steam. Like Steam has some sort of a thing. If I was listening to it right when I actually just watched a video about it, maybe not even a week ago, but it's something where like it links to whatever games you have, and Arena is on those games, and then you download the app onto your phone, and then it somehow links it to your phone, and then you're able to actually play the client through your phone or tablet. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't gone through it yet. But
we're not going in a recession, Frank.
But the person showed how it was done and showed that it was actually, a thing you could do, and that it actually worked well on a touch screen. But it's just I haven't done it yet.
Right.
That's interesting. I mean, that's such that's such a roundabout way to do it. They actually need to make it so that it's actually in iOS and Android. I mean, they've got to do it. They've got to do it. Why are they waiting?
I don't know. Because it's in beta still.
Because Wizards pays 20% less than anybody else in the industry for the same job done.
Right.
Mic drop. You don't believe me? Go read Glassdoor.
Oh, I believe you. I mean, I'm sure. Look, I've heard people talk about Hasbro and Wizards on LinkedIn and what they pay. Stories that are posted on LinkedIn about, working for those companies and the amount of money that they pay. You can find them. They're out there.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah.
But to ultimately be successful, I mean, it's a great point. Like, you got to get an iOS, you got to get an Android, and if you're not there, you're not going to unseat Hearthstone.
Right. Exactly.
I'm sure, and I've heard that MTG Arena has hurt Hearthstone a little bit, but I think Hearthstone hurt itself. It was on the decline anyway. Yeah. So who's to say how much MTG Arena contributed to that? I'm sure it was a little bit, but it's not ever going to amount to a lot. Just like Rob said, it's not going to amount to a lot until they get on to the mobile devices.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely agree with that.
So none of these so going forward, Rob, are you going to get any of these specialty products, or do you think that they're just?
If my clientele that comes in my store wants it and would like to prepay for it, I will get it for them. I am not getting any to carry for myself. In order for me to carry something like that, I would need to have pre-sold 2 and then put the profit margin from the 2 of those into 1 to carry on the shelf to make a little extra money over the long run, or break even if it doesn't sell.
Right.
I would love to order them. I could have put in for a ridiculously large number of them. Yeah. I still have until the end of August, actually the last the last week in August is the cutoff date for the order. I hear a lot of customers on my Saturday afternoon high-end play groups of Commander saying they want it. And I'm like, okay, cool, you want it? Cool, prepay up here.
But they don't prepay.
I'm just going to wait and see what the mass sellers online sell it for. Cool, and while you're at it, go open it online too.
Right. Exactly.
I pretty much have a zero tolerance for opening of... I don't say much, but I have a zero tolerance. Like, if I see a customer bringing a cheeseburger in from another store to my restaurant, I'm not giving them discounts anymore. They literally just cut themselves off of getting any decent pricing.
I will say this, like I've said in the past, Rob, like I totally agree that people should support their LGS, and especially if they're cutting deals. Like if you're the type of person that if you're going to wheel and deal with a customer that you know comes in frequently, like that's awesome. And
my prices are absolute in that if I don't know you, the price is the price.
Right.
But as you've shown loyalty over time, I'll throw in free stuff. I'll give you a discount. I mean, I've been known to just randomly say, I'm going to give you 20% off this order. Why? Because you've been doing business with me for so long. I'm not going to do it all the time, but here, thank you. This is a little customer appreciation.
Right.
But I literally had a guy walk in to my store with a box of the War of the Spark, and sat down and started cracking it. I was like, I look over, I'm like, oh, cool, you bought a War of the Spark. How long did you get your promo card? Oh, I bought this online.
Yeah, of course.
Do you go into Burger King and bring McDonald's with you to sit down and eat? I literally said that, and like 5 people looked at him.
I mean, it's true.
And it's like, I've known the person a long time, and I think he realized that if you're going to buy something like that, open it at home, fold it into your collection, bring it into the store.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can't stop that from happening. But to literally throw it back at the place that gives you a place to sit down and play a game, and more often than not runs a lot of free events that they don't charge for, or just throws out random promotional cards at you, are you going to then turn around and slap them in their face?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're doing to you, which is pretty low, especially
it definitely is.
Francis,
if they want to crack, tell them to crack them in the library. If someone walks in with a box like that again, like, you know what? It's a public library. Go down and crack them. I saw where Francis was asking as well.
Yeah. For instance, it's like, what's the Fall Master set going to be? We've been kind of ranting about it. It's the $200. It's the $300 12-pack booster box of ultra limited super special Go FU edition.
Yep. Yeah. That's what it is.
FU to the stores and then double FU to the customers.
Yeah. Definitely.
They're gonna I really feel that this product is gonna be printed really high based on initial demand, and then people are gonna look at the set and go, "Oh, this set's garbage. I don't want it." And then all the boxes are gonna just get stuck on the distributors. They're gonna have to fire sale them out to the Rudies of the world. The only people making money are gonna be the people that could drop $2 million and negotiate a 10% price decrease when they purchase.
Right. Francis asked, "Are they going to do an Ultimate Masters again?" Is what I was asking.
No,
they have no other set like that planned for this year.
Actual Masters sets have been shelved, so we're not going to see any more Master editions. Right. We're going to see, if you really want to think about it, the Master set of this year was Modern Horizons.
Yeah,
it
was just another Master set.
And I coined the name in this area of Modern Core Set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally what
Modern Horizons turned out to be an okay set.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay set.
It was amazing where it was launched, and then we hit Core 2020, which I think was a phenomenal set. Has so many good bombs in it, but they dropped it on a pre-release weekend. People are gone for 2 weeks, so the stores got stuck with nobody showing up for their pre-releases. Got stuck holding so much product, had to fire sale it off, lose money because 2 weeks later they start all of these stupid what's the word I'm looking for? They start doing all these stupid spoilers, and in doing so, they've basically taken the interest and the hype off of that set. So now you can't sell it.
Right.
This was the worst pre-release I've actually done in ages.
Worse than the fiasco of Oath of the Gatewatch. How that entire set got dropped before they even started spoiling cards. I mean, that was pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Honestly, we're talking about Oath of the Gatewatch?
Yeah, Oath of the Gatewatch.
That set needed all the help it could get.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a fake drop. Like, I'm telling you.
You think Wizards did that? What about the leaks? Yeah. So let's kind of talk about Eldraine, right? There's already 3 leaks.
Sure, let's talk about the toilet.
Yeah, there's the toilet.
Yeah, there's already 4 leaks.
There's already 3 or 4 leaks, and they supposedly came out of France.
Yep.
Maybe they're real, maybe they're not. I don't know. But do you think it's Wizards is purposely perpetuating these leaks before they start to do spoilers?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so.
Whenever you see a sizable, somebody took a photo of a foreign edition set and posted it online, I 100% believe that it was an unintentional intentional leak.
Right.
In that someone up in the corporate says, okay, our pre-order numbers are toast right now, and we need the distributors and the stores to bump those numbers and commit. How can we do it? Leak the set early. But this set still is out. Yeah, but we've already made our money. We've already sold it. We have our pre-sales in. We've had our commitments. Let's get people before this set comes out to commit to the next one too.
Right.
But is that ethical? Who cares about ethical, man? We're gonna live in our ivory towers and make all this money.
Yeah.
So realistically, I think it's along the lines of they do it strategically, because if you look at when these leaks happen, they always tend to happen. The really big leaks always tend to happen before the ordering window closes.
Right.
Like right before. And it always tends to happen on sets that actually have pretty decent cards that Commander players would want and start like saying, "Oh, I need this, I need this, I need this."
You know that I just want to say, now that you say that about a card being something the Commander player likes, the Planeswalker that was spoiled from Eldraine, I think it looks, it might be the pre-con deck Planeswalker, but if you look at its abilities, it looks like it could do something in Commander. So what you say actually makes a little bit of sense. Yeah. Definitely.
I agree. That's for sure.
I don't know if you've seen those spoilers.
I'm pulling it up now. I'm trying to find it.
You have to pull up a translation.
Hey, look, it's Death. I just found he did something on it.
But I'm curious, Undying. If you could see one thing brought into Standard from Throne of Eldraine, what would it be? Is there anything specific that you would like to see come out of it? Whether that's a reprint, or whether that's, like, mechanic-wise, whether you think like a certain color combination needs to be buffed or not?
Well, I'm always up for anything that's black-driven, because that's always a go-to for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess, like, we were kind of talking about in the chat, but outside of mechanics and just the usual stuff, there was whispers of King Arthur type stuff, and I've been a huge like King Arthur person since like I've been a little kid. So if they do anything like that, I'm just gonna buy it for the sake of buying it, because like I'm just a nerd in that regard. I can't help it.
Hey, Yu-Gi-Oh did it like 6 years ago. The Knights of the Round Table and everything.
Yu-Gi-Oh did do it.
I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh.
I hate Yu-Gi-Oh, but I actually played that deck. That deck was cool as shit.
So they framed this set as Camelot meets Grim Fairy Tales.
Yeah, it's like fairy tales and.
If this is supposed to be a photo of the actual card that was leaked, why is there no set number for the card?
So
it could be fake.
It could be fake, but a lot of people. So I had heard a couple speculations, and some people were just saying they think that they just got rid of the numbers entirely, because you have to consider.
There's a number on the card, and
but they got rid of like the end number, because you have like the set, and then you have the Planeswalker decks, and then you have the special cards. So everyone just figures, what does the number even matter?
The number matters actually a lot, because if it says
I said the same thing.
So here's why the number really matters. Think about Rowan. Rowan says card number 304 and then blank.
Right.
304 of what? 251, 275. Right. That tells me roughly how many cards are going to be in intro decks and other things. Right. So knowing the size of the set actually matters.
Yeah. It matters for collectors too.
What makes me think that this is fake is that information isn't there from a visible thing.
Right.
We'll see. I mean, it could turn out to be very well.
Right.
a real card and it's a test print that somebody got a photo of and they didn't want to put the numbers on it, but that makes no sense to me.
Right. Grizzly says 7, that's how many. Agreed, Grizz. Agreed, definitely. You are
some
107% correct.
It's the one of the precon planeswalkers.
Yeah.
But I'm interested kind of in the story here. I mean, because Camelot with Grim Fairy Tales are the main characters part of the like a Knight of the Round Table, or are they Hansel and Gretel? People are speculating that is the central storyline like something to do with Hansel and Gretel, or is the central storyline something to do with like Knights of the Round Table? And we don't know yet. Which is interesting to talk about.
Oh my God, Knights of the Gingerbread Man.
Oh,
that'd be awesome.
Because the two main characters are that Ronan and then another character named William, I believe. And some people saying, well, they're supposed to be Hansel and Gretel, and then some other people saying no, they're just Ronan and William, I think. I mean, there's not a ton of information on it yet.
Well, it looks like Rowan from Rowan and Will Kinraith. So.
Yes, those are the characters. One thing that I see interesting on the spoiler list is that the spoiler list says arcane signets in the set. In Throne of Eldraine. Add one mana of any color in your commander's color identity.
It's fake.
So that makes no sense.
Right. That's why
zero play in standards. So
that's why I'm pretty not convinced, because it says that it has the Throne of Eldraine symbol and it says that's in the set. Add one mana of any color in your commander's color identity. That's why I don't believe it. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I kind of
Eric William, that's what I was talking about. Rowan and Will from Battlebond are supposed to be in the set.
Yeah, they were Battlebond characters.
Yeah, they're Battlebond characters, and that's, people speculating, is it going to be like a Knight's story, or is it going to be like a Hansel and Gretel story?
I'm just going to say, if they go with Knights of the Round Table and in all of that, they need to, in Camelot and everything, they need to do what Yu-Gi-Oh! Did, and that is make individual cards for individual items in like the lore that they're going for. They need to do that.
So,
or else really I'm quitting Magic and I'm going to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Did it better.
Screw that. But Francis made a good point, which I wasn't even thinking about. He said in regards to the whole commander identity card, I can't remember what the hell the name of it is now, but he's saying it's a brawl card because they are trying to push brawl. So I would not be surprised. Actually, in that regard, I would not be surprised because it is going to be a format on Arena. So if it is in the set, I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be the justification to it, but that card would then become legal in Standard because it's in the set. Therefore, they never push anything into a set that's part of a set.
Right.
And then not make it Standard legal.
Right.
I don't know. The fact that the card numbers are not showing up is one of two things.
Yeah.
It's an official leak. It's an official unofficial leak from Wizards of the Coast, meaning that they decided to post this but didn't want to know how many cards are in the set, or it's just absolutely fake.
Yeah.
Just fake.
I call them I kind of call them intentional leaks.
Right.
Intentional leaks.
Right.
Or like you said, they're fake. Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, the Planeswalker seems like it's real. Seems like it could be real.
Well, that was an art that was spoiled like 3 weeks ago from the artist, so.
Well, I will say this. I don't know how true this is, but I'm on Scryfall right now, and it says the source is Wizards of the Coast, and Arcane Signet is actually there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Then that makes sense that it would be because of brawl. There'd be no other explanation.
Because that's what it says.
Right.
Unless they turn Standard into a commander format.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's the only.
Save the paper game. Make everything command.
Yeah, why not?
I've been saying for a long time they just need to bite the bullet and say we're going to convert Friday Night Magic over into Commander.
My LGS did that years ago just because Commander was huge shortly after RTR block came out.
I get 25 to 35 Commander players on average per week on Friday Night Magic.
Yeah.
15 Commander players is what we would have in our area in the down season.
Francis says, I was at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a special card in a pre-con brawl set.
All right, because they're making brawl decks.
They are.
They're making brawl decks that are coming out. So, all right, so it might not be an Eldraine card. It could be in those brawl decks.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. I suppose in the end, I mean, we'll see in a couple of months. When does Eldraine come out? October. Last week of September. Comes out like October 4th or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
So, what do you guys think about the return of fairies? And will the fairies be like the fairies were in Shadowmoor, Lorwyn, that block, or are they going to go a different direction? Different colors maybe.
Yeah, I think we could see different colored fairies. I definitely think so.
What about a reprinting of Vidillion Click?
Probably not. I wouldn't expect something like that to be reprinted in Standard.
All right, so for those of you who wants to hear about the 15 card, 12 pack God box, right? 15 cards and one foil token, one rare or mythic rare or with extended art, one foil rare or mythic rare, 9 foil common and uncommons, 3 special frame cards, showcased or borderless planeswalkers, 1 accelerary card, and 1 foil token per pack.
So lies and trash, 9 slots of trash, and 3 slots of lies, 1 slot no one cares about, and another slot that no one cares about. Seems pretty good. Let's throw $50 a pack. There we go.
Just
Players will love this shit.
And take my freaking wallet.
Yeah.
And have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the brawl decks, 60 cards, 4 versions, 7 new mechanically unique cards per deck.
Yeah.
Life whale, whatever that's supposed. Oh, a life counter whale.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bundles of BS as usual. Actually, that's funny.
Daryl says I'll take 20.
Cool. Speak with your money.
Yeah, right? All right, Daryl. Time to put your pre-orders in, boy.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
That's all such BS. All these products. Yeah. Too many products. Too expensive. I don't have a problem with the brawl deck.
The funny thing is, they've cut down the amount of releases per year, and it's still too many releases per year.
Definitely.
Like last year, we were drowning in a release of month.
We never used to have Commander like years ago, and you know what I mean. So now you got Commander Prince, and now they're trying to do like Modern Horizons. I don't know if it's going to be a thing that they're going to do like an annual Modern release
Who knows what's
thing.
Gonna happen.
So I'm pretty confident that Modern Horizons is going to be a yearly thing now. It's Modern Core Set.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you're going to have that now on top of the Commander, and then on top of your standard stuff. I mean, it's going to be insane. And then on top of whatever the hell else they want to throw at you. You know what I mean?
They're trying to get it to a main release every 2 months.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, it's almost like it's a double-edged sword. Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of those fanboys about new cards. I'm the first one to get giddy about new cards, and I understand there is a point where there's burnout,
right?
But at the same time, though, I mean, you can't fault them for doing it, because if their research is correct by saying that Magic is at an all-time high, you can't fault them for just shoving out product because they know people are wanting it at quote-unquote an all-time high, because they know people are essentially going to buy it.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying, Eric.
Yeah.
They're getting while the getting's hot, right? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Why not capitalize on it?
They're trying to release as much as they can while they think they're at their highest point.
Yeah.
To sell the products, but is releasing this many products going to, bury them, take them from that high point and just bury them? Or is it leading up to what Aspera has been saying, which is they want to sell it,
Right.
They want to sell it. So
Hasbro has been predatory for years.
They
come in, they buy a company, They gut it. They reduce as much staff as possible. They mass produce as much as they can. They get it into every toy shelf, every Toys R Us of the country, stacked 50 feet high. And then when there's no intellectual value left to it, they dump it.
Yeah,
now, here's the bigger question: who would be the potential buyer?
I mean, the shittiest of companies. You could get EA. You could get Blizzard. I mean, hell. I mean, I could see half a dozen gaming companies wanting to buy it out right out the gate. The truth of the matter is it comes down to the kind of money that's needed to buy it. There's only a handful of companies that can afford it. Microsoft could end up buying it.
True.
Because Microsoft has been trying to tap into gaming hardcore for the last 5 years, and this would push them over the top.
I would hope it would be Elon Musk. If I could throw my guess out there, please, Elon.
Oh my god!
Elon. Just do it for us.
I would love to see the faces at Wizards of the Coast. About us.
Please, just Elon. If you could do one thing for humanity, that's just.
Elon, buy Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Now.
I would accept Notch too.
I mean, okay, I could accept that as well. I could accept that.
But realistically, you're talking a sum in the neighborhood of somewhere between 2.5 billion and 15-20 billion.
Right. It's not a small chunk of change. So.
Some of the developers, if you look back, you can look back at the history of the development of Arena, and you'll see that some of the developers that worked on it, talking about individual developers, not a company, were actually Hearthstone programmers.
Yeah.
A bunch of them. Is there a conspiracy there? I'm just asking. Is there a conspiracy there?
Nope. It's the guy. It's the guy.
Blizzards, or were they just hired by WotC out of Blizzard?
Right.
No. If we're talking about Magic Arena, it's literally the Chris Dumpster Fire, who basically, I'm not going to say his last name. I'm not justifying him. I'm not justifying him with a response. He's basically just doing what he tried to do from other games, and the truth of the matter is, it's dumpster fire.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I hope not. I kind of like playing it, I guess, but I don't have the formats I want to see.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just waiting for the. I mean, you heard about the ruling recently with having to disclose what's in your loot boxes.
Yeah.
Well, imagine if they turn Magic Arena and start applying that information to Magic Arena, and they have to disclose exactly the statistics of getting XYZ.
They do.
But I know he already has the.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I know.
Already has the odds on the packs.
Right.
Yeah, they have approximate odds. They don't have exact odds.
True.
Right.
The ruling was that they have to produce exact odds.
Right. Fair enough.
Wow. Yeah. Every time you get a pack, is it going to have to say under it the odds of getting a rare, the odds of getting a mythic?
Yeah.
Well, if they say odds of getting a rare are 1 in 8 packs, mythic is 1 in 8 packs, then every 8th pack over the print run of the entire year must have it. They can't say, well, we're running out of ink, so we're going to stop printing these mythics. But the way the system is all set up, it's fine. But when you stop and think about expedition inserts that say approximately 1 in X number of booster packs, right? That's not an exact number when you think about the scale of large numbers.
That's true.
True. Yeah.
I mean, approximate just covers them. But I'm kind of hoping they really go hardcore with this and start backdrafting through all of this stuff, because these I don't understand why people buy these stupid super limited edition products.
Because they have money to spend.
Money to spend, and then they think of.
I understand they have money to spend, but there's other things they could be spending their money on. Like for instance, are you going to go out and spend $300 on a box of super limited edition cards when you don't even own a Savannah?
Yes. Because people like shiny things, and people like the chance of opening cool things that maybe are new that other people don't have yet.
I'd rather have Savannah.
Yeah.
Myself.
I'd rather have the cards randomly inserted into actual booster packs if they're going to do it at all, and and then raise the price of booster packs if they want. Let's face it, we haven't had a price increase on booster packs since approximately 5th edition. On MSRP. Right. MSRP's gone now, but we haven't had an actual MSRP increase since about 5th edition. People are still going on price memory. True MSRP, if you look at it now, you have to go into Walmart to look at their 428s, and now it's going to go up and the number is going to be higher. Where you need to evaluate it is go into Walmart and see how much the Walmart price tag on the counter is, right? And that's the Neo MSRP on stuff.
Right.
That's true. I mean, packs at Walmart are what, like $4.19 or 20 cents?
428. It was 428.
428. You know, Francis had mentioned something else in chat, talking about that he doesn't think Magic is really at its highest growth point yet.
No, Magic was at its highest growth,
but it's down, right? Because we were at 20? It was at 20 million paper players.
I'm going to tell you this: in 2015, I could run in my small little 650 square foot store that was dedicated it was 2 display cases, a shelf behind the counter, and then all gaming space that was dedicated to about 8 tables. I could squeeze in about 30 players tight on 6-foot tables, like 6 per table. It was really tight, really like elbow to elbow, but I could run 3 30-plus player FNMs every week for the entirety of Cons Block, all the way up until about Battle for Zendikar, and then Battle for Zendikar was literally a nuke. Like afterwards, we're living in Bethesda.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, Magic is nowhere near more players than ever. They're just looking at their online metrics and not factoring in, and they're being dishonest with their online metrics because they have the capability to say, Vara, we know you own, and I'm throwing a fake number out there. You probably only have 1, but you have 4 accounts, but we're going to count you as 4 different players.
Right, exactly.
For purposes of metrics.
Right.
And instead of saying this one person has 4 different accounts, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
Forget your phone.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
That being said, I mean, stop and think about that. If Wizard says there's more players than ever, is it more players in that there's more accounts than ever? Or is it that there's more players in, like, physically actually playing the game? They can honestly answer this, and I don't believe they're being honest. I watch my Friday Night Magic. I track the stores. I know what's happening. Standard doesn't fire in this region anymore. Modern is on a decline. Commander seems to be the only format that's firing. Even those numbers tend to be down. But for me, they still stay right around the same. But when I look at other stores, see the information they're posting, talk to my friends that own stores. A friend of mine's actually been in business less than a year. He's already considering closing shop.
Right.
Wizards is as cryptic. I just want to mention Wizards. WotC is as cryptic as Microsoft is with numbers. Yeah. Microsoft is very cryptic with numbers. We don't know how many Xbox Ones have been sold, how many Xbox One X's have been sold. It's just people approximating it. Right. And WotC is giving us numbers, but they're not really telling us the whole story.
Right. Exactly. It's true. But is there anything else that you guys wanted to really discuss tonight?
Well,
why you have no legs? No, go ahead. What's up, Grim?
Oh, I was just saying. No, I was just interested in hearing more about what you were talking about. You said you had a friend who was already going to close. Yeah. I mean, that just shows you the state of the LGS, state of the paper.
I already know. I'm not going to say where, whom, or how, but I discussed things with other store owners.
Yeah.
Due to popular misbelief, the majority of store owners talk to each other. Like, you form your cliques.
Well, yeah.
I'm in a ton of, even though I don't have a store anymore, I'm still in a ton of Facebook groups that are just.
Yeah, you're what's referred to as being in the know because you used to be one of us, and
at
any moment in time you could be one of us again.
Right.
If you don't have $100,000 to throw away for 1 year of business, don't open a game store.
Right.
The players are playing the stores against each other, saying, well, this store does this, and if you don't do this, I'm just going to go there.
Right.
If they say that to you, they're going to go there anyways. They're just trying to milk you for the extra dime they can get tonight. Right. The majority of really good players just come in and throw money at you, and then you feel bad, and you look at them and go, well, hey, you know what? You're really loyal. I'm going to give you an extra discount. These boxes are normally pre-order $110, but for you it's $100 because every set you come out and get one off of me.
Right.
Consider it a loyalty perk.
Right.
But yeah, even costs on booster boxes have gone up I'm expecting with Throne of Eldraine, and I'll confirm when it gets closer and they give me actual numbers. I'm anticipating a 2% increase on the back end.
Mm.
I'm just hoping the writing is going to be good for it. It sounds like a really cool concept. I'm going
to put it simple. The cost of the product on this 12-pack set coming up is the cost of a Master's Edition box of 36.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, of 24.
Right.
It's double the cost. It's almost $14 a pack.
Yeah. True. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about it. I never thought. I mean, I thought
remember when they did the Alara all foil booster packs and they put those out for $6.99?
Yep.
Yep.
And the regular booster pack.
I have some.
Yeah, and they're actually a really good set. Like those sets are just worth opening, plain and simple. The amount of Commander staples and foils, and I can tell you the story why those exist. Somebody put an extra 0 on the print run request, and they had so many left over at the end that they weren't going to print more paper. So they turned around. Yeah. So they turned around and said, let's just slap them all into boosters, make random all foil booster packs, and put them on the market.
Yeah, why not?
The size of this, the pool of cards that those Alara packs you were pulling from was gigantic. It was what?
Oh yeah.
Like, was it almost 900 cards?
No, it was literally the Shards of Alara set.
Oh, I thought it was all 3 sets.
No, it was
I could be wrong. I'll double check it again.
I do know the block itself. I remember there was a large print run, which is why the foils, quote unquote, aren't as valuable as most other sets. But I didn't know if it was every set was like a god.
And it was the block. It was Shards of Alara, Conflux, and Alara Reborn.
Well, Shards of Alara foils are only as valuable as they are because of Commander players. The truth of the matter is there is a metric. Like, I have 1,000 count box of just foils from that set because of those foil booster packs.
Yeah, but when that Alara foil booster pack came out, it was $11.99, and it had 539 different cards in it.
All right, yeah. So it was Shards of Alara, Alara Reborn, and Conflux.
Yep.
So I was kind of off on the card count, but still, that's a big pool of cards.
I'd buy a box of that right now. See, that's the kind of thing I'd like to actually see opened up on TV. It's on YouTube. It's actually that's something cool enough to open. That's just like you don't see every day.
Right.
But once you've seen one open, it's like, okay, cool. The reason why Rudy does all these box opening is because it basically stems interest back to his site where he sells more product. Where people are like, well, I've watched this video, I might as well support him for the entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like, I don't understand these, like, even his patronage price of $79.99 a box, limit 6, must order a minimum of XYZ, la da 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 da. He ran every aspect of number. He's probably making about $5 a box.
Yeah, probably.
But when you move 40,000 boxes, that number adds up fast.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
It is. If I had the kind of capital he did, I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Problem is there's no way to get that kind of capital anymore. Those numbers are gone. Like, the only people making money like that anymore are the big four.
Right. That's for sure.
That's true. I mean, you have to kind of get that type of capital from something other than gaming. And then you can take that capital and
I had a kid
into making a lot of money off gaming, but you're not going to get it initially off of gaming.
Right.
I had a kid in my store tell me, oh yeah, me and my friends were thinking about opening a gaming store. I'm just like, good luck with that. And he was like, what, you don't think we can do it? I'm like, no, I think you're perfectly capable of doing it. But if you think you're going to make money, you are wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you have to really plan for it, and even then, nothing's guaranteed. But you can't just go into it blind and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm opening up a store." And then
I open my store with like
field of dreams, like you build it and they will come. Like, that's not how it works.
Right. I'm surviving because my Magic collection was as massive as it was from that I was capable of putting together from 2011 and 2016. So coming into this, I didn't have to put as much capital up front. Truth of the matter is, if you don't have like 150 grand and somebody who's going to sell you a booth at every Grand Prix for a reasonable price, which don't even get me started, Grand Prix booths start at 5,000 now, and that's for like a single 6-foot table
What? For
Yes.
just one table?
Yeah, that's not talking about the 10,000. That's not talking the $10,000 and $15,000 booths. That's one 8-foot table.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yes, I already looked into the numbers. I was like,
Like, you better have some high dollar stuff on just that.
No, you're not going. You're not going in. That's the thing is everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go in and make a killing at a GP. You don't go to a GP to sell. You're going to lose your shirt.
Yeah.
You go to GP to buy.
I mean, I get it. You got your buy list and stuff, but still, I mean, that's a lot to invest in just buying because you're already $5,000 in the hole.
Right. Which think about that. If you're $5,000 in the hole right out the gate, and you have to compete with everybody, right? Then think about the amount that you have to spend that weekend. You have to spend a minimum.
You got to spend a lot.
It's a minimum of 25,000.
I was thinking 20. So I mean, we're at least around the same range. I was thinking 20 at least.
No, it's a minimum of 25,000 for a break-even scenario on your purchasing, because you have to also compete with the big boys that are going to outbuy you.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to have a good rep and good buy prices. So like, you go into these things really expects to be buying the bottom of the barrel, what's been picked through by all the other names that have the branding,
right?
And try to make your money back. I had a friend that did a booth from Long Island. I think he spent $6,000 on his booth, was in the backmost corner, and blew through about $85,000 at the last GP. And you know what?
Shizzballs.
He said it was worth every penny to him because he doesn't have a store, he doesn't have an overhead. That's the other thing that's really bugging me about the Grand Prix. They're letting non-store owner backpack vendors in to buy tables now. They're also selling like ridiculously large number of tables now. The fact that they let a backpack vendor buy a booth is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you should have some sort of credentials. Like at the bare minimum, you have to be a store owner.
You could get a retail license. I mean, it's not expensive. It's like $50 to go down.
Well, no, but I mean, like there should be some sort of screening process where you have to prove that you have a store.
Yeah. Honestly, it should be the brick and mortar scenario that Wizards of the Coast pushes. You should have to be a brick and mortar.
Right.
Now, most stores don't they show up with a budget, right? So like, at a Star City event, you go to sell stuff, you want to get there early. Like, let's say it's a 2-day event, you want to get there early on Saturday because they're only going to show up with X amount of cash. So let's say they show up with 50,000. I'm just going to throw out a number. It's probably more than that now. But let's say they show up with $50,000.
And apparently Star City is a lot of other vendors now.
They're going to start on Saturday morning. They don't, even if they sell a bunch of stuff, even if they sell $100,000 worth of stuff, they don't add the money back in, right? Unless they change their procedure. They just say, we start with 50,000, we buy until the 50,000.
Every penny keeps going back in with the Star City. You can't use them as an example. All the big boy, like my goal for a weekend is to keep selling and buying to propagate my online inventory. When I used to do these shows, I'd go in and pay for my table for the weekend and bring 4 times what I spent on the table for the weekend to buy singles for the store. But
good plan.
A lot of it is you end up with a lot of the stuff being sold now is standard garbage, and it's literally that. You have people going around booth to booth dumping the garbage that they couldn't get rid of for the year in trades and stuff.
Right.
So the people that actually do the best at the Grand Prix are the people that start with the lower buy prices on like Friday.
Yeah.
And Saturday they raise their buy prices just a little, kind of like Fugu. You take a little bit more poison, but they don't really crank their buy prices until Sunday because they want to be the last person with cash walking out the door. They want to be vending right up until that moment where everything's packed down. They're just buying, throwing in boxes. You got to get out of the hall. Okay, last transaction, buy it, throw it out the hall. You and you follow me out to the hallway. Final transaction, and gone. But I mean, I literally watched a guy at Grand Prix Providence. I think it was 3 years ago now. He walked in the room, and on day one, he cleaned every vendor out of $50,000, just dumping stuff to them.
Yeah.
He was a bigwig. He was a bigwig from Japan. He came in and he hit, I think it was like all 16 vendors for $50,000 in cash each.
Right.
It's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
And the reason why he came over here to sell it was because, stop and think of it from this perspective, he can put his name down to all those vendors. They can take his ID. They can 1099 him all he wants. He's not going to pay a dime of taxes because he came from out of country.
Right.
And if you hit 16 vendors at $50,000 a piece, I mean, think about the math on that. It's $800,000 that dude's walking away with. He's just going to turn around and respend it, buying cards back for the next year for another GP.
Yeah, definitely.
And from what I heard, that same guy, not only did he do Providence, but he hit the next 3 in a row. He was on basically a 2-month vacation in the United States, going from GP to GP to GP.
Right.
Now, a company like Shadow Fireball, if you're hitting a ton of their events, let's say you need 5 to 10 tables or something, you think that they're going to go lower on the prices for you if you just buy them all at once? Say if you're saying the table's $5,000 or $6,000, but you go to Channel Fireball, who's running all these Magic Fests, these GPs, and you just say to them, hey, I want 10 tables.
No, they raised their prices.
They raised it, so
no. When Channel Fireball took over, they raised the vendor prices and they added more vendors in.
Yep, they did.
So
in fact, if you actually look at GP Providence, when you walked around the room, at least 5 of the vendors didn't show up.
Yeah.
Yikes. Because they don't want to pay the fee?
No, I think that they booked the table and then realized just how bad it was and just overcommitted and said, I'm not going to show up. But when you run the numbers, the people like these things are loss leaders. They make no money. No, they make our money off of the vendor because the vendors pay for the hall and the profit for the weekend. Everything else goes into the pot for everything else.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And
I've been pretty to the back end.
Getting more expensive, and the prizes seem to be getting worse.
Yeah.
Well, once they went to a ticket wall, it was nail in the coffin because the entire ticket wall is literally the epitome of micro purchasing. You have to grind to get something decent and hope somebody else doesn't get to it before you do. And then you have to deal with the sheet choppers who are professionals that'll walk in with 8 of their buddies. They all sit down and say, we just want to fire 16 drafts right now, all of us in a row.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, just put us all in. Everybody scoop. Okay, next event, scoop. Why? Because they take all those singles. They're going to crack all those singles. They're going to throw them up online. They're going to take all the tickets, go get the sheet. They're going to take the sheet back to the place. They're going to chop it up and make. They're going to make about. I think it was like $10,000-$15,000 profit per sheet.
I see you Undying in the chat. Where's checked out over? I'm right here.
Who's hiding in chat?
Oh,
how about I put the camera on you then?
I just had to mess with you. That's all.
Well, I haven't heard you blabbering much.
Oh well, I am a guest here, so I mean,
you're a guest here. All
All
right, I'll leave then. You're the host. See you later.
So I just I chill, and then when I feel I'm able to chime in, then I do. You
just want that free promotion.
Of course. That's
see?
what I do it all for.
But my channel only has 1 sub.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have 15 on my account.
Oh shit, I should go check and see. Maybe I'm at 2 now.
You're getting there. Undying. You better catch up.
I know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, shit.
Yeah. Gotta start doing those box openings again. Get
I know. Gotta start doing some
what are you doing,
opening?
Eric?
Oh, he tried a box opening, but they shut him down for rude and inappropriate.
I'm on my way to the bank tomorrow to get like a $20K loan to just buy a bunch of boxes to open up for the channel.
You know, you might make a couple dollars ad revenue once you get to the right amount of subscribers.
I might get about 10 subscribers out of it. Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
I'll get 10 and then lose 20.
There you go. At least you gained.
Oh, God.
Wow. I have 3 subscribers, guys.
Nice.
There it is. There you go.
Whew. That's pretty good.
Doing that grind, bro. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I mean that's a 300% growth since 2009 when I opened my channel.
There it is.
You're getting good.
I think that's what I did.
True. So true.
Yeah. But I think that's...
Holy crap. December 27th, 2009 is when I joined YouTube.
Well, at least you've got some growth there.
That is an old
you got it all in one evening. There you go.
Yeah.
I came from the memes.
More than what I can
you guys.
And all of them are going to unsubscribe tomorrow.
I can't unsubscribe for myself.
Hey, Eric, Eric, what are you drinking? Eric, inquiring minds want to know what you were drinking.
Well, prior to the stream,
his own piss.
I had some Jagermeister, or as the Americans would say, Jägermeister. There you go.
Is it a
I
Jaeger bomb?
had a few shots of Jaeger, and then I've been sipping on my German accent somehow turns into Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. So I'll just say, like,
Austrian, you asshole, you racist.
I know. It's like it's Oktoberfest. Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Oh, it's out?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, seriously, is Sam October out already?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I actually got it early because my buddy works at this particular gas station. He goes, "Hey, man, I got a case of these in. Do you want any?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I want some." I'm like,
Is it the 19 or is it the 18? Because the 18 batch was some of the best I've had hands down.
no, it's the 19. It's not the 18. It's definitely the 19 because the label's different. So I definitely know it's the 19.
I am definitely going out for a 28 rack pretty soon of Oktoberfest.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's good still. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's going down nice and easy. I like it.
I loved Oktoberfest. I don't drink much anymore, but that was always one of my favorites. When October comes around, pumpkin spice and Oktoberfest.
Yeah, pumpkin spice lattes are coming.
Oh my gosh, we're already starting with the. Oh no.
Eric's gonna go crazy about pumpkin spice.
I am. I'm gonna be basic white. You know it. Heck, I don't care.
I mean, your shirt.
Well, yeah, look what you're wearing.
Heck, yeah, you know. Shoot, I'll be getting my pumpkin spice.
I gotta make you some pumpkin pie because like every time I make you one, you never come down and get it.
Please don't drug my pumpkin pie.
I'm not
don't.
like that. I
mean, wait. If you do that, it'll be a good YouTube story. It's like being kicked in the head. It'll gain me some subscribers.
I don't like.
I'm sorry, I had to. I had to.
Oh god, that was a very perp. That was a very perp comment.
I mean, it's kicked in the head. People got punched in the head. Just aim for the head. I'll get at least 5,000 subscribers.
I mean, just completely turn against your entire player base and tell them they're all bad people because you don't agree with them.
Oh yeah, that's it. All right.
I heard
What
the
if you got attacked while on camera, while on this show? And someone just comes up behind you. That'd be.
Oh no. Wait for it, and in camera.
It is what it is.
It's like you hit yourself so hard you knock the other people around.
Damn.
I think we broke Farah.
We did. We broke her.
She's at the damn phase. We broke her.
And it make you want to taste it.
Oh, jeez.
But I think that was all we really had to talk about tonight.
I did have something that I wanted to know before we got off, and I know.
I have boobs. Yes, I'm a man.
Yes.
Great.
I have boobs.
Moving on.
I am a man, and I know that both Rob and Grim can be long-winded on responses at times. So please refrain. Well, I had a couple things though that I wanted to just say. So first off, I wanted to say that you guys did not have to cancel last week due to my birthday.
Yeah, we did. How else are we gonna be spending time with?
Right.
Well, you guys could do it without me. I
miss
felt
you.
kind of bad.
We'd miss you,
We didn't cancel for you.
Yeah.
We canceled for the thought of you.
Right.
I'm not that damn important now. Come on.
Life is so painful without you. I couldn't. I couldn't sit with these idiots for 2 hours.
Eric,
I couldn't do it.
Eric, without your red face and Vara's red hair, it's just not a show.
Oh, dude. Oh,
Right.
yeah. That's the redder I get, the more I'm feeling great.
Right.
But yeah. So there was a comment on my last podcast I did with the guys that I do the stomping around, which is King of Jank, Lang Gallier, and Strategist. And somebody said, I like you better on the other podcast, meaning this one. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, what the hell am I doing there? I'm not doing anything different from what I know. But then I'm thinking,
a woman.
well, then I thought about it. But the thing is that it's different from being a co-host than it is to actually hosting a stream, because when you're hosting, you're the person that you're trying to keep stuff, flowing as far as, topics or what have you. So you might not be quite as loose as you would be. Because like when I'm like on here with you guys, I'm completely loose because I know I'm not quote unquote in control.
No one likes them loose Undying. Come on.
I know.
Come on, Undying.
I'm in control of zero control over here. Okay, so I'm just in here just drinking away and just shooting the breeze. Whereas when I'm doing that stuff, I have to make sure I'm focused and I'm like.
All right, guys. So in 2 weeks, next Titans Table, Undying MTG is hosting the show.
Oh my God, I am not.
He's gonna pick out the topics a week in advance. He's gonna get in his nicest suit and tie. He's gonna be hosting. We're gonna put the thumbnail picture to his face. We're ready to rock.
All I can expect is a wife beater, a bottle of guy sitting there like, well, people, this is what we got going for tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the only thing I can see would be the opposite of the way he is right now.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I slightly put on like a radio voice. It's not very good, but it's slightly different.
Carol says you must sacrifice your legs Undying. It's part of the deal.
Oh man. Well,
yeah, I mean it kind of is. So.
I had to sacrifice my legs. That means I got to get a bucket because like I'm drinking way too much. That's a problem.
Right.
Not just
is there drinking way too much? Is there?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it really is. You find out when you fall in love with Jägermeister.
Oh yeah, that's been And the thing is like I haven't had Jaeger in my house in probably 6-7 years easy. And my wife actually bought me a liter bottle for my birthday, and that's why I was like, oh my God. And she said, and she goes, oh, let me, because like I felt the bottle and I just knew what it was. And she goes, oh, let me guess. It's the nectar of the gods. I was like, hell yeah, it is. I was like, give me
Growth ambrosia.
I was ready for it. I'm like, yes, good nights are ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
but on that note, I will end my tirade. So
you have more control than you know. You know how hard it is to refrain from pushing that little X which disconnects you? like seriously, you can push it at any time and say, screw you guys, I'm going home. Oh wait, I never left. I'm gonna go stream my own broadcast. And then we lose half of our viewers.
Right.
No, not at all. I would never do that.
I don't know.
Nobody would leave anyways. They'd be like, who the hell's this asshole anyways? What's he trying to do?
Right.
Hey, if it's any consolation, you got more subs than me.
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough.
Well, this is over the course of I'll say for the most part this is over 2 years.
Well, his channel's been up for 10, so you're still doing a little better.
It'll be 10 in December.
Well, 10 years. I'll say, mine's been up.
Should I actually?
7,
hey, maybe I actually qualify for the algorithm boost for the channel age, and now I start actually pushing Minecraft content, and before you know it, I have more than Mumbo Jumbo. Aww.
It's worth a shot, right? All right, you guys.
I would be so banned from Minecraft if I put up the content I do.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so is there any final words?
No final words for me. I'm long-winded enough. That was my outro.
Well, there you go. Guys, Undying MTG, what about you, Farah? Any last words?
Yeah. Why did I open a game store?
Hey, I got out. I got out.
You didn't.
Every day I wake up. And
you didn't. You didn't get out. You still have product.
That's true. I do. Damn it.
True.
You're going to be looking there.
I got a whole storage unit.
You're wasting money on your investment by having a storage unit. You should just move it all into your house and tell me where you live.
Right,
oh,
right.
Wait, Carl already did that.
Yep.
Oh
no.
Any last words? Yeah. Stay off drugs, kids. Crack's bad, okay?
Yeah. Definitely is.
Alcohol's okay in moderation as long as you're over 21, right? Or 21 or over, rather.
Well, what's moderation? Because I know somebody that thinks 1.5 liter of scotch is moderation.
Well, moderation in comparison to what your threshold is to each their own, but know your limits.
Type in chat so people can see, because the TARDIS is looking for your account.
Too many as far as on YouTube.
How was there too many? I didn't know that would be a common name.
Apparently it is.
What's the common name?
Apparently so.
Apparently.
They're probably referencing me because I'm kind of like a thing online when it comes to Minecraft.
Right.
I'm kind of a redstone god in my own sense. I can break servers with 3 circuits.
Nice. But yeah, that is the end of Titan's Table this week. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Undying, Esfera, Grim, thank you guys for hanging out. I do very much so appreciate it. Thank you to everyone in the chat that has stopped by. And yeah, have a fantastic night, everyone.